Majority of white Americans are not aware of American history. They're kept willfully ignorant to the actions America has done in order to preserve the American way of life that they enjoy so much. Today is the Benito Bowl, and I'm seeing a slew of posts from MAGA saying, why can't we just get someone who speaks English? Why can't we just get someone American? Bad Bunny is more American than majority of you because the majority of your grandparents came through Ellis Island. Meanwhile, Puerto Rico was annexed through an act of colonization, forcing citizenship on them. So before you even became citizens, Puerto Ricans were citizens. We have to ask ourselves, why is America threatening the Super Bowl with ICE because an American citizen, one of the oldest American citizens, is performing in Spanish at the Super Bowl? It's no different than the ideology of the United States having slave catchers. This is all about power, racism, hierarchy, and control, which is the status quo of America. The United States invaded and seized control of Puerto Rico in the summer of 1898 during the Spanish-American War. Puerto Rico was eventually ceded by Spain to America with the Treaty of Paris in the winter of 1898. In 1917, through the Jones Act, America granted Puerto Ricans into citizenship status. Now, that wasn't because they were altruistic and benevolent and wanted to just give access to citizenship to their new colony. It was because they needed bodies to go die in the war. So you have a group of people who were a Spanish colony, who had a very brief, limited stint of independence, then became a product of neo-colonization by America, and then their bodies were used to be put at the front line to go die at the behest of their colonizer. Sounds familiar, right? In an effort of forced erasure and assimilation to being American, America then made it illegal for Puerto Ricans to speak Spanish, making English the official language of the country. They then took the eugenics path, sterilizing Puerto Rican women for over 3 decades. The 1930s to the 1970s, in a form of population control. 34% of women between the ages of 20 to 29 were sterilized in 1965, reaching the peak. This was known as La Operación. America has been using the same tactics on all its subjugated people. They did the same thing with black people, with the Tuskegee Airmen. They do the same thing to the natives. And Puerto Rico is a place that they tried their hardest to oppress through colonization, through sterilization, through forced attempts at erasure. And Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl is one of the most defying moments in American history that could exist. Because while majority of MAGA are sitting here complaining that a Latin, Puerto Rican, Spanish-speaking person is not the real America is a story of a country and an entity that colonizes, oppresses, kills, subjugates people under this false ideology of whiteness, and whiteness being the only identity that is American. So for the Latinos that are American, for the black people who are black American, for the natives who are American, that this country has for centuries oppressed and tried to erase, the fact that our cultures are still thriving and it's still beautiful. I think it's amazing that Bad Bunny is going to use the America's biggest night of television and show the country that despite all its efforts, Puerto Rican culture still exists. Puerto Rican people still exist. Spanish, the Puerto Rican version of Spanish still exists. The music, the bamba, the salsa, the merengue still exists, and you couldn't erase it. And so much so now, I'm taking up space on the biggest world stage as an American that you forced me to be.